Good morning, everybody. 1 minute. T-minus 1 minute. Hey guys, what's going on? It is 11:56 a.m. here in Northeast Florida, and I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys for about 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a little short one. I got a lot to do today, and I wasted a couple hours making a really fucking stupid video, but it was fun, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to make. And I love it. So welcome. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Wednesday. The weekend is almost upon us. Let's play a little bit of Shadows of the Empire. Getting our time machine back to 1996, right? 1996. Tell me your memories of Shadows of the Empire. I always feel like I talk about, the times that I've played this game, the decades that I've spent playing this game on and off. The memory of me getting it for Christmas morning, not even knowing that I got a Nintendo 64. I didn't ask for an N64 on Christmas. But my dad thought it was cool and he bought one. And I vividly remember opening up a game. I'm pretty sure it was Shadows of the Empire. Opening up a game under the Christmas tree. And saying, I don't have this system. Thinking that my parents knew no better, you know what I mean? Oh, these Nintendo 64 games would work for a Super Nintendo, right? That's what I assumed they thought. But I remember opening up an N64 game, I think it was Shadows of the Empire, saying, I don't have this system. We'll take it back, my parents said. And then, after a few presents, there it was. I opened up Shadows of the Empire. But here we are. All these years later. A game made in 1996 runs so good on my personal computer all these years later. As always, let me know if the game is a little too loud. I'll turn it down. But Vince, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that, man. Hope you're doing well. There we go. Vince says... Bravo, sir. Haha. Thanks, man. Yeah, I hadn't, that was an idea that I had since my last stream, I think it was. Just because it's so, you just see that bullshit. I don't even know how to describe it. It's the dumbest shit that plagues YouTube. Just very sensitive dudes who I guess, I don't know. Very thin-skinned people on YouTube make a lot of money, I suppose. If you're thin-skinned on YouTube and you like to complain and bitch and moan about everything under the sun and see everything as a personal attack, you will do well on YouTube, my friend. So go ahead and start a channel. But yeah, man, it was fun to make. I need to make more dumb shit like that in the future. But I appreciate that, Vince. Again, hope you're doing well, man. You said you're gonna go. When's your Disney trip with the family? It hasn't happened yet, right? I thought I might be not remembering it correctly, but maybe you said April. I can't remember. I feel like it was. Maybe it was April. I'm not too sure. Anyway, let me know. Stuart. Ty and the ADP, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. One sec. Stuart says, woke that, everything is woke, so sick of the empty word used to hide bigotry. I don't know if I would say that it's used to hide bigotry. I'm just sick of the word. I mean, it's just become a buzzword for anything that is seen as I don't even know. It's a term that just it's a blanket term. Anything that basically is deemed as golly, I don't even know. It's just something I'm so fucking sick of hearing about. It's I don't like buzzwords on any side. It's just I understand its use, I suppose, but it's just a boring ass word that's thrown around when it's just, I don't know, when there's nothing else to say, you just say woke, right? I don't as I've said before, like, I subscribe to a lot of space and astronomy podcasts. I like reading space and astronomy books. Two of the most interesting and just infinitely digestible topics. There's not enough time in your life to study all of space and astronomy and space exploration and all that stuff. And when it comes to the most interesting topic human beings can even think of, I get sick of it from time to time. I can't fucking imagine being the type of person that would sit there and watch or listen to someone talk about culture war nonsense day in and day out on a daily basis. I can't imagine. I would be so goddamn bored. And, but hey, that's just me. Anyway, Stuart, I appreciate that support, man. Hope you're doing well. There we go. Let's see what time it is. 5 o'clock your time. I feel like, Stuart, sometimes you hop on when I'm streaming in the evening and it's like an ungodly late hour for you, and I feel so bad. Anyway. Ty and VADP, thank you guys so much. Should I save this one? Nope. Where was it? Ty, thank you so much for the super chat. Channel Sport Ty says, nice Alex Jones impression, HG. The Liberals are turning the Ewoks gay with the water. So, but shows the input. Great memories trying to beat Fett with my dad, man. Nice. Have you tuned? I think you've tuned in for one of my Shadows of the Empire streams. They're always a good time. It's always funny to me because a lot of these bosses, you know, that you battle against back in the day when you were a kid and you played this game for the first time. Turns out a lot of the bosses are pretty damn easy. That's also a factor of like me playing this game since 1996 and just knowing all the ins and outs. So like I can beat Fett. Watch, I say this now, and I've spent the past almost like 30 years kicking Fett's ass every single day whenever I play this game. Just no contest. And he's going to kill me this time because I'm bragging about it, right? Oh yeah, I forgot I could use the Y button instead of hitting the keyboard to open these things. Yeah, it's a great game, man. Yeah, that Alex Jones impression I've done in a lot of videos back in the day. It's just an overly passionate asshole who I don't know how to describe it. It's weird, man. It's weird. But it's a very easy impression to do. You know, you just kind of like maybe it's me growing up in Georgia and Florida. Kind of got that I can do that voice pretty good. I can't stand these wampas. You just kind of make it a little... You exaggerate everything. You make your neck veins pop. You make things that aren't a big deal into a big deal. Big deal into a big deal. And then, boom, you become a Star Wars YouTuber or an entertainment YouTuber or a culture war YouTuber. Making a bunch of shit that does not matter into something that matters. And there you go. Let's see. But yeah. If it was... V80... Where did it go? Oh, Ty, if it weren't for, I think, Jedi Fallen Order, I think this would have remained my favorite single-player game. My favorite Star Wars single-player game. I think this was my favorite Star Wars single-player game up until the point Jedi Fallen Order came out. Just, you know, a lot of that obviously has to do with nostalgia. I'm sure a lot of your favorite Star Wars games are the ones that you played when you were a kid, right? Shadows of the Empire is no different for me when it comes to that. But, so yeah, Shadows of the Empire. I have a long and storied history with this beautiful damn game. Yeah, for whatever reason, I still get the itch to play it. Like, you know, and I say this every time that I play this game, but it continuously blows me away that a game that came out in 1996 on the Nintendo 64, and I think a few years later on the PC. I know it came out for the PC, but I don't think it was immediate. Somebody will have to look that up. But a game that came out so long ago is one of the smoothest running old games I have ever played. A lot of the times, you know, you install older games and there's an issue, there's a hiccup, they don't run that great, there's roundabout ways to make them work, you know. Shadows of the Empire has never had any issues for me on the PC. And just to think about this game that came out in 1996 and I'm able to play it on my modern PC for people all around the world to watch all these years later is mind-blowing to me. I don't know. It's crazy for me to think about. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, anyway, Ty, I appreciate that, man. I enjoyed the picture as well. And the ADP, thank you so much for the double gun super chat here. And then hold on, how do I sidestep? I know I can sidestep. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm using an Xbox controller. The ADP, what's going on? Men under attack. Star Wars men under attack. Kathleen Kennedy is coming. She's a tyranny, and yet she's been fired 12 times. Yeah, man. The rumor machine. That's what's funny to me. Like, it's really interesting to me because there's a community of just absolute bullshitters out there. But at the same time, I always, it's funny because I always hear that, you know, I don't like other people's opinions, or I have an issue if somebody doesn't like something in Star Wars, which you guys are familiar with this channel. That could not be further from the truth. I don't give a shit about what you think about things that I like and dislike. Why would I care? It's interesting because it has nothing to do with opinions. It has to do with personalities. It has to do with people. I don't care about your opinion, man. I just don't like you. That's what I always say. I don't give a shit if you don't like The Last Jedi. Bash it. Who gives a shit? Why would I care? I don't know. I just don't like you as a man. That's what it boils down to. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Fired 12 times. The rumor machine continues. Why am I going backwards? I don't know how many times people can watch videos or listening to people talk about all these rumors that never come to fruition. Year after year after year. But people keep coming back to these voices, no matter how wrong they are, no matter how low their batting average is. It's interesting, man. It's kind of sad. But anyway, the ADP, in all seriousness, if your masculinity is defined by space wizards, you might need to get some hobbies, touch grass, keep up the good. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's weird. There's a I don't know. It's very strange to me. There's some kind of complex out there. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And it really doesn't have... It goes beyond Star Wars, too, right? I mean... How many of the same exact type of videos can you make about what an actress said? Like, at a certain point, are you not embarrassed that you've already made that video 200 times? That's fucking weird, man. Oh, yeah. So here's a good example of, like, when you're a kid thinking these bosses are so tough, and then you pull out your Seeker, at the age of 35, all these years later, and you just empty all of your seeker rounds into the AT-ST's face. And you realize, this game isn't so hard. Not too bad. Oh. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of the same deal with all of the bosses in this game. Yeah, I mean, every single one is kind of like the same deal. Like back in the day when I would play this game, IG-88 was probably the most terrifying boss of any game ever. IG-88 was a bastard, but you know, after. Oh, nice.
If they stick the landing on next movies, it could be this gen's LOTR.
Vince, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. I greatly appreciate that. Give me 1 sec. I'm long-winded. That's what happens when I play video games on a live stream. I find that I'm pressing buttons, going through the motions, and I kind of forget to get to the goddamn point. And I completely forgot what I was talking about. Anyway. Oh, IG-88. Yeah, well, I think IG-88 will be coming up soon. Be a good time. There we go. You just kind of sit, pull out your seekers, fire as fast as you can, and eventually, you kill them. Really, that was my fastest ever? By 2 minutes? It's kind of crazy. All right, fair enough. Oh, I hate these levels. Let me catch up with super chats here. Mystic, Max, Sugar Fett, the ADP, Juan, Vince, and Oscar. Thank you guys so much for these super chats and channel supports this afternoon now. There we go. Mystic Max says, Mystic Max, where did it go? Mystic Max says, are you excited for the new Batman movie? Also, my cousin was cleaning out his basement and found his copy of Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Nice. Mystic. So, Star Wars Bounty Hunter is a game that I've never played because I had never owned a GameCube or a PlayStation. So, that game completely passed me by. I primarily played things on like the Nintendo 64 or my PC. And honestly, man, like since my Nintendo 64, I haven't really been that much of a console gamer. I own a Dreamcast. I still have it. In fact, I was up in the attic, put some stuff up there, a couple days ago, and I saw my big plastic bin that says, I actually took a picture of it. I should have tweeted. I guess I still could. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm sitting here. I took a picture of it. Go to my Twitter, and on the live stream announcement, on the live stream announcement, I'm going to post a picture of what I'm talking about. It was from the other day. Here we go. Okay. Dreamcast and figures. And I'm going to post a picture. Oh, it's super exciting, isn't it? From the stream. Let me make sure it's a response. Okay. Boom. So, yeah. I took a picture of this just because, I don't know, I miss my Dreamcast. The Sega Dreamcast was definitely ahead of its time for sure. But, yeah, man, since, like, the Dreamcast, I've never really been a console gamer. Even my my Dreamcast I barely played back in the day. Crazy Taxi and House of the Dead was about it for me when it came to Dreamcast games. But yeah, the Dreamcast was really ahead of its time. It had an internet browser. It had a mini game. It had a screen in the controller. You could play mini games. You could monitor your progress of certain things on the controller. It had a screen in the controller. It was way ahead of its time. Yeah, I remember getting on the internet browser, plugging the Dreamcast into the big TV in our house. The big TV in like 2000 what? 2000 2. I don't know. When did that console come out? I have no idea. Earlier than that. But yeah, plugging that console into the biggest TV in the house and getting on the internet. It was completely mind-blowing, man. Yeah, the Dreamcast was ahead of its time for sure. Why am I talking about the Dreamcast? Oh yeah, that's okay. Bounty Hunter. Yeah. So I never owned any consoles that the Bounty Hunter game was on. So, but it is a game that gets constantly recommended to me. You know, maybe in the future I'll find a GameCube, borrow a GameCube, borrow a PlayStation, because you know I don't have any plans to buy a new console anytime soon. I'd rather build a new PC, but yeah, man. So, am I excited for the new Batman movie? Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely. I think it looks great. I think Robert Pattinson. Is it Pat? Is it? I'm basically a grandpa. Is it Pattinson? Or is it Pat? It's not Patterson. No, it's Pattinson, right? With an N, I think. I don't pay attention to things. But the trailers that I've seen look great. You know, since his casting announcement, I was on board. I know for whatever reason the internet loves to just, whenever somebody is cast in something, the knee-jerk reaction is to go, "What? Huh?" But I generally trust the casting department. You know, Heath Ledger is kind of the biggest example of why, hey, sometimes just trust the casting department. So, yeah, I think he'll do a great job. Zoe Kravitz will, I think it'll be a great movie. I'm really crossing my fingers that it's a good ride. Oh, and Paul Dano is in it, right? He is one of the most underrated actors acting these days. Paul Dano, dude, he is so good. Then There Will Be Blood. And everything he is in, he is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think him and Evan Peters are two of the most underrated actors out there right now. But, yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I don't know whenever I'll be able to see it. We don't get out to go see movies very often, just because we have a toddler. And, you know, not very often you get to go out to a 7 p.m. movie with a 4-year-old. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably most excited to see Paul Dano as the Riddler, to tell you the truth. Yeah, he's great. But anyway, Mystic, I appreciate that, man. Cheers. Now it's time to go on this ride and eventually combat old IG-88, the terror of the skies, Mr. Robot Arms. Used to scare the shit out of me as a kid playing this game, but after all these years, you kind of know how to defeat him in about 5 seconds. That's how it goes. But yeah. Sugarfed, thank you so much for the silent support there. I don't know if you meant to type a message in there or not. I don't see it in the chat. I'm looking at the chat, but unless you type something, if Sugarfed types something and I don't see it, see, if I minimize the game, there's a good chance the game's gonna crash. So if Sugarfed did type something, copy and paste it for me, guys. If not, Sugarfed, thank you so much for the silent support. I appreciate the hell out of it. Cheers, Sugarfed. And the ADP, once again, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this afternoon. The ADP says, by the way, would love to see you stream Jedi Academy. Yeah, that's definitely, well, I own it. That's the funny thing, is I own so many Star Wars games on Steam that I've never really played before. Like the Jedi Academy series. What games are in that series? There's Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy, and then there's like Jedi Outcast, and then there. How many are there? How many are there? I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure I own all of them. And yeah, that's what you do with Steam. You buy games when they're like $2, and your Steam library just builds and builds and builds, and eventually you have too many games and you'll never get around to playing all of them, and you basically just spent money to own a little digital video game that hey, maybe you'll never play before you die. That's what Steam is. But it's great. It's a solid product. So yeah, maybe I'll do like a little. I've been meaning to kind of start a Throwback Thursday live stream series, but I just, I went out of town last Thursday, so it's just been. I went out of town like 2 Thursdays before for 5 days. It's just kind of hard to plan these things, Dark Forces 2, Mystery of the Sith, Jedi Outcast, Jedi. So there's 5. Okay. Yeah, I'll get around to playing them one day. One day. Which one should I start first? Is that the order of release? They want to know my location. Hey, man, if there's truth in that video in anybody, I think maybe they should look inward, huh? What was I going to say? Yeah, which one? Do I need to play them in order? Is it a continuous story, or is it okay to bounce around? Ooh, I'm going to make it. Here we go. Jump. And I made it. There we go. I miss picking up floating objects in games. Yeah, man, it's kind of funny. Like, I know a lot of people complained about that about Battlefront 2015, but I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it. The little power-ups you would pick up. There was something arcadey and fun about it. Yeah. I kind of liked it. There we go. But anyway. And Juan Fur, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I appreciate the hell out of that. Never noticed that train down there goes backwards and then forwards. Interesting. Juan says, hey, Greedo, want to share a Star Wars artwork I did for May 4th, 20. Hope you like it. Nice. Is there you can't post links, right? How about this, Juan? First of all, thank you so much for the generous super chat channel support this afternoon. Juan, if you want to share a little piece of art that you did for May the 4th, I'd love to see it. Probably the best way to get it to me is just to do a little tweet in my direction, and I'll definitely see it after the stream. But Juan, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm curious what kind of... Speaking of artwork, I bought some acrylic paint and a couple like 8x10 canvases, like a canvas pack. Really for my daughter, but as I was sitting there watching her paint, she loves to paint. It's kind of fun. And they're kind of cool. She likes light pastel-y colors, and they kind of the paintings she makes, they kind of look like, I don't know, like little minimalist modern art paintings that you would see. I don't know. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I just killed myself. They kind of look like, yeah, like legitimate minimalist little paintings that you would see for sale. And I'm sure if she wasn't my daughter, I would be like, yeah, I wouldn't hang that on my wall. But they do, man. They kind of remind me of something that you would see in like I don't know, somebody's house, some like minimalist artwork. Because what she does is like she'll put 4 blobs of different colors, and then she'll mix the colors together. blue and red make purple, and she'll be like, look, I made purple. And like, yeah. So there's like multiple just blobs of different colors, kind of uniformed. It's kind of neat, man. It's kind of neat. But it made me want to try to paint something. I have a couple ideas for, you know, a larger canvas to go on my office wall. Just because I'm some of you guys know I'm completely redoing one side of my office, and it was never finished to begin with. I've never really known what to do with it, but I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do with it now. And I want a big canvas, something to take up space that, and I kind of want to try my hand at painting. I haven't tried to paint anything in a very long time, but I'm thinking something a little abstract. Nothing like a Darth Vader helmet or something. Oh, one sec. Sugarfed, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that, man. 1 second. Let me get to this stopping point right before IG88. And Vince, Oscar, Ty, Chris, Bubba, Vince, and Sugar. Thank you so much for the channel supports there. Let me catch up here before I get to IG88. Actually, guys, let me beat IG88 and then I'll pause the game and catch up with super chats. Here we go. This is how you beat IG88, my friends. Again, as a child, as a kid in 1996, this son of a bitch used to terrify me. Nowadays, you just get your seekers, and you wait for him to hop down. And you fire, 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 fire, and he has 1 health. And you wait for him to do that again. Like, yeah, back in the day, man, I would run around this entire map over and over. Actually, let's run around the map. Let's explore a little bit. How about that? Since he has 1 health, why not? I haven't seen this map in a very long time. I just kill him instantly these days. I'll kill him instantly. Here we go. That's how you beat IG88. Used to terrify the shit out of me as a kid. There we go. All right, I'm going to pause the game. Guess I don't need to pause it. I'll just sit here and can enjoy a little Shadows of the Empire background. How about that? With there we go. There we go. That's a good background. Okay, let's catch up with some super chats here while I rest my hands and do a little stretch. There we go. Vince, thank you so much for the channel support, man. I guess I can't sit around. Let me kill this dude first. Was this thing shooting at me too? No. Alright, let's get back to that wallpaper. There we go. Vince says, I'd like to hear you talk about Dune for a sec. You likened your experience to Fellowship of the Ring on the Twitter. And I agree, if they stick the landing on the next movies, it could be this generation's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect going into Dune. I was just kind of looking for a visually well done sci-fi story. I've never read the books. Don't really know anything about that universe. So experiencing it was the same deal with Lord of the Rings back in the day. I went and saw the Fellowship when it came out in 2001. I think it was a midnight showing with my friends. Was it 2001 or 2002? I think it was 2001. But knew nothing about that world, that universe. Went in and what I got was just an epic. Was an epic. And I kind of had that same feeling watching Dune. I may have had a few glasses of whiskey, which contributed to my awe. But yeah, sitting there, man, I was just completely enthralled and engrossed and just absorbed into the story and the characters and all of the factions. It It really pulled me in. I have no idea what happens in the next movies. I have no idea. I don't want to know. At this juncture, I have no plans on reading the books. I wish I did, but it's weird, man. I have a hard time getting into fiction. Like I for whatever reason, I like to read nonfiction, history books, biographies. Occasionally, I'll read some fiction if it really hits me. Like I recently read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for the first time. Loved it. But yeah, I had the same feeling. Like this is just an epic. This is an epic with so many moving parts, and just the various houses, the various factions, the various parties pulling for power. The sand. I don't remember the planet name or the characters' names, but yeah, how these different factions kind of. Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And that's coming from somebody that never read the books. I'm sure if I read the books, there's always something to pick apart. I'm not the type of person who like will have a problem with someone having a problem with the movies that are based off of books. I get it, man. I've read books that were turned into a movie, and they leave a lot out. Like my wife reads the Outlander series, which is also a show, and she'll be like, yeah, they left this and this and this out, or they didn't do this and this and this and this. I get it. You invest your time, and it's not one for one with what's on screen. So I understand that complaint. I read The Martian, which I thought was I thought the movie The Martian was pretty on par, if I can remember correctly, with the book. They did a good job with that. But yeah, tattooing, there you go. But yeah, I thought it was great, Vince, and I'm really excited for the following chapters. I have no idea when they're coming out. I don't even know if they're in production yet. I'm assuming they are, but it's one of the franchises that I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to following a story, But anyway, cheers, Vince. Hope you're doing well, man. I appreciate you hanging out. And Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Too many Star Wars fans, I think, therefore it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is Star Wars fans. That's not just Star Wars fans, though. That's the internet. That's people in general, I suppose. Star Wars fandom is just a microcosm of the cosm. But yeah, I saw somebody post on Facebook the other day a picture of an old guy looking at his computer, and he said, "I'm over being an expert in medicine. Today, I think I'll be an expert in foreign policy," or something like that. I thought that was good. I thought, that was a good summary of what Facebook is all about. The people who are always bitching and moaning and throwing their 2 cents into every single conversation that they know nothing about. Today, I'm an expert in medicine. Tomorrow, I will be an expert in foreign policy. The internet. Anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. Ty Brute, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Ty says, your feelings about Shadows of the Empire is how I feel about the TIE Fighter flight sim. Squadrons is better, but I'll always go back to TIE Fighter. Fallen Order is great as well. Yeah, I remember playing TIE Fighter back in the day. I don't know if I ever played the original X-Wing, but I did play TIE Fighter versus X-Wing. There's 3 games in there, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't think I ever played the individual X-Wing game. Pretty sure that existed. But yeah, TIE Fighter was fun back in the day. I have not played it since the mid-90s, probably. I remember playing it on my parents' Pentium 133 game computer, and enjoying it for the most part. I don't really have very many fond memories with it because I think other games kind of took over. And during that time. But yeah, I remember playing it. I remember playing Rebel Assault a lot on my PC. When did Rebel Assault? Did you who out there remembers Rebel Assault? Let's look this up. Rebel Assault. Let's see. When did Rebel Assault come out? Rebel Assault. Rebel Assault. Rebel Assault. Star Wars Rebel Assault. 1993. Okay. So, yeah, I remember playing Rebel Assault on my family's computer. And, you know, back in the day, if you're not familiar with Rebel Assault, it's basically like, I think it was an arcade game as well. But Rebel Assault was like real footage, real animations of people, and it kind of played like an arcade game. And you would I don't really know how to explain it. It was basically it basically played like an arcade game. Your mouse was the reticle. Your mouse was your where you aimed your blaster. You would hit a button and you would pop out from cover, and your character wasn't like Dash Rendar here, who is a 3D modeled character. Your character was actually like a live green screened human being. And I thought that was the future, man. I thought that was the future of video game technology. Star Wars Rebel Assault, with real live green screened people. But it was not. It was not. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to play Rebel Assault, I remember it being really tough. There were a lot of games like that back in the day. But, yeah, it was fun. Anyway, I appreciate that, Ty. Yeah, Squadrons was fun. Squadrons was like a fun jolt of gaming action. It was very short-lived for me. You know, I played the single-player campaign thoroughly. I think it's worth playing just for the single-player campaign. The multiplayer campaign, I had no intentions of getting that good. So, like, you just get completely dominated. You know, at least I would. But which is frustrating. That's not to say that it isn't still fun when you're getting your ass kicked in the game, but I just, you know, I had my fun with it and moved on. But anyway, I appreciate that, Ty. Chris to follow, good to see you, man. Chris says, shameless plug, looking for a kid. Okay, I'm going to read this. Chris says, shameless plug. Are you looking for a kid's book? Check out Mr. Ace and the Rainbow Bridge. On sale now. Greedo, I'll send a copy for free. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm going to hit you up on Twitter. Let's see. I actually looked. So my wife's grandma passed away in December. And Chris, we were... How do you explain this to like a 3-year-old, right? How do you explain this to a 3-year-old? And I actually looked up your book during that time, and it's really difficult. You know, it's your book deals with a different subject, obviously. I mean, it's the same subject but different. You know, it's not a grandmother. So we were trying to figure out how to explain it. But yeah, your book definitely, it's interesting, man. Your book was the first thing that popped into my head. Should have mentioned that to you months ago. But yeah, Mr. Ace and the Rainbow Bridge. Mr. Ace and the Rainbow Bridge follows a rescue dog named Mr. Ace who waited his whole life to be adopted. His foster parents decided to adopt him, and the rest is loading on my 5-year-old phone. which takes forever. His foster parents decided to adopt him, but unfortunately, Mr. Ace's adoption day was also his last day. Mr. Ace journeys to the legendary Rainbow Bridge, where he meets new friends and watches over his owners as they live out the rest of their lives. As he watches, Mr. Ace often wonders, will they remember me? So, yeah. If you got kids, if you're dealing with something like that, you know, there's your book. It's on sale. Hardcover is $12.22. Paperback is $8.59. That is cheap. That is cheap, Chris. Considering all the other books that we were looking at. And I like that. You know, we're not you know, we're not religious. So so many of the books are very, very religious. And you know, we want to it's hard to find one that's not, and it does a decent job explaining things, you know. But anyway, Chris, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll have to hit you up for sure. But I appreciate that, Chris. And Bubba Fett, thank you so much. Let me start walking in the game. Are you getting dizzy spinning around old Dash Rindar? Dash Rinder? There we go. There we go. Bubba Fett, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Bubba says, seen Ewok Adventures movie, second movie ain't bad. You know, I never have. I've never seen the Ewok Adventure movies. I have had them on my computer for so long, and I've never gotten around to watching them. I think it would be fun to make videos about them one day, you know. Watch them and make videos about them, but as of right now, I don't really have any plans to do that at the moment. I think that would be a good little project, though. Watch them in their entirety and do a little modern look, a modern review of them. Be kind of cool. But yeah, speaking of Ewok stuff, the Ewok cartoon that's on Disney Plus, you know, from when was that? The 80s, I guess. I don't think it was from the 90s. I think it was made in the 80s. But I turned that on the other day, maybe a few months ago, for my daughter, and oh, you slip and slide on this level quite a bit. I turned it on for my daughter, and like, oh man, that was rough. That's not that good. She did not show any interest in the show at all, and I do not blame her because yeah, not too good. But yeah, maybe for a goof, I'll sit down and watch them and turn them into a long video. Might be kind of fun. There we go. Oh, yikes, man. I should have brewed some more coffee, man. No! Good thing I have 7 more lives. Oh, one sec.
From a while back. Just here asking if you have any more good Navy stories since I'm signing my contract soon.
Nice! The Schween, thank you so much, and congratulations on the decision. I appreciate that ridiculously generous super chat and channel support this afternoon. Give me 1 sec. Is that floating down there? What is that? I don't think I've ever gone down here to try to get that. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. We're in no rush, right? I'm gonna give it a shot. Duke 17, thanks, man. Give me 1 sec. But yeah, here we go. I'm gonna try to get over there. I've never done that, I don't think. Okay. Vince says, any Greedo Bob Ross vids in the future? No, probably not painting. But what I really want to do, Vince, is completely... Well, I mean, they weren't the ones to invent this, but I have seen them do this. Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained, they do live Lego building, streams. And... at some point in the probably distant future, maybe 6 months or so, I would like to get a Lego Saturn V rocket and, get a Lego Saturn V rocket and, I'm going to go down there. I never do this. I want to get a Lego Saturn V rocket, maybe even a Lego lunar module and a shuttle. And put them together live on stream. I just think that would be so much fun. Don't necessarily know how I would do it. But, I think it would be a lot of fun to do. But, yeah, probably no painting. No Bob Ross stuff. How do I get up there? Can I jump there? Dude, I don't know if I've ever gone this way, to tell you the truth. I don't know if I've ever done this. In all the years since 1996, I don't know if I've ever come down here. Let's try this. Ooh, I thought I would have instantly slip. When am I coming up here? Just for a challenge point and some seekers. Let's try this. Whee! Oh, that hurt. Not too bad. Nice. So, yeah. Yeah, eventually I'm going to get it. It's, it comes and goes. I think it used to be really difficult to find, but they re-released it, and it's identical to the original Lego Saturn V, but it comes and goes in stock on Amazon. I know sometimes it'll say, like, this will ship in 2 months or something like that, and then randomly the other day, it just came into stock, and you can get it Prime, like, next day, which is kind of cool, but, yeah, I'm in no rush. Still waiting. Waiting for that call. There we go. But anyway, Vince, I appreciate that, man. Sugarfat, thank you so much for the super... I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Sugarfat, thank you so much for the super chat, generous super chat and channel support this afternoon as well. Sugarfat says, my buddy wants me to play KOTOR, but it has aged like cheese. I have no nostalgia for it. Can't wait for the remake. Also, Geeks, Gamers, and Quartering want you to know your location. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, man. Like, I remember playing KOTOR back in the day. I owned them both. But when they were coming out, I didn't play them really. Like like in all honesty, I maybe logged a couple hours in both of the games back in the day. And one of the reasons that I barely played it, well, there's a couple reasons. One, the main one was that when they were coming out, I was just playing nothing but Counter-Strike and hosting my own servers. Yeah, I would host my own Counter-Strike servers, make my own maps, and have people play on my maps. That was like my video game life for years, man. So that's basically all I did for, like, I don't even know, like 6 years of video gaming. And another reason was I never was really into RPGs back in the day, especially not like turn-based RPGs like that. So yeah, I don't have that nostalgic love for those games. I am looking forward to the remake, just like you. But I don't have any desire to play it if the combat is the way it is now. You know what I mean? One of the biggest reasons that I've never been able to really get into it these days is because of that combat system. It just doesn't do anything for me, man. I don't like turn-based stuff. Maybe there, I don't think there's a way to turn that off, right? And yeah. Oh, one sec.
My dad passed away.
Jeez.
He was a deadbeat. He drove a tractor into a dugout and died of
Jesus Christ, Clark. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Give me 1 sec, Clark. Give me 1 sec. But yeah, I don't have the nostalgia for it, sugar, like so many people do. You know, I've tried to. I've maybe logged 6 or so hours of it. On the PC on live streams. I've actually played it on a live stream. But yeah, no nostalgia for it. It's one of the games that gets recommended to me more than any other, for sure. Wish I had that love for it. All right, how do I use the jet? There we go, jetpack. Let's go all the way to the top. Let's get some health. Let's get some pulse. Challenge point. Let's get that. And there we go. Yeah, sugar, I just don't like. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. The Schween, Took17, and Clark, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, guys. The Schween says, hey, it's the VMI cadet from a while back. Just here asking if you have any more good Navy stories since I'm signing my contract soon. Nice. Well, first of all, congratulations on that decision. Hope you really enjoy it. What's your obligation? Is it 8 or 6? I'm going to keep an eye on the chat there. I'm assuming it's 8 years, right? I don't think there is any 6-year obligation nowadays. I could be wrong about that. Things have changed quite a bit. But, yeah, first of all, thank you for making that decision. And congrats on making that decision. I hope you like it. Any more stories? I'm not a good storyteller, I don't feel like. But, golly, not, I mean, like, I have a lot of memories of my buddies, you know, in the Navy, just bumming around the squadron. Honestly, my favorite, oh, yikes, my favorite time, oh, crap. What was that? Was there a secret down there? No, that's definitely not a secret. Thought there was a ledge. My favorite time that I ever had in the Navy was on deployment when the helicopter was flying. I was in a Helo squadron, an SH-60 Bravo. We flew SH-60 Bravo Seahawk helicopters. And my favorite times in the Navy was when the helicopter would be flying. You know, it would be flying for a few hours, and me and my squadron mates would literally like hang out on the flight deck and smoke cigars and put our lawn chairs out there. And yeah, it was great. Or if the bird was under, you know, PMI, planned maintenance, basically we would if it wasn't our schedule day or night, we would just be bumming out on the flight line. I have so many great memories of playing cornhole on the flight deck in the middle of the goddamn ocean with my buddies. And it's just some of the best memories I have in my life. Just smoking cigars, hanging out. We actually would occasionally grill on the flight deck. One of my buddies had a fishing pole, and he would fish off the back of this giant frigate. Well, it's not a giant. Relative to the other boats in the Navy, it is very small. Frigates actually are not a part of the Navy anymore. It's kind of sad to me. Like, frigates are not in the Navy anymore. The SH-60 Bravo Seahawk helicopter is no longer in the Navy. And my squadron no longer exists by its original name. So everything that I knew in the Navy is gone. And it's kind of sad, man. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I have really fond memories of that deployment. Um, I made. I was really good buddies with one of the air crew, one of the rescue swimmers, basically. And the rescue swimmers had their own room on the boat, and it was just like right above one of the flight, one of the hangars. We only flew with one helicopter on that deployment, but the ship had 2 hangars, and so one of the hangars was actually converted into a gym. And the AWs, the air crew, there's only 2 of them on this deployment, had their own room. And they brought an Xbox, and I would just hang out with them and play Xbox when I wasn't working. So, yeah, man, just like really good memories of just hanging out. We went to Panama, Guatemala, Colombia, Costa Rica. Guatemala, Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Had a really good time at all those ports. Didn't really do much in Costa Rica. We were kind of restricted to the port, unfortunately. Couldn't really explore as much as the other ports. But am I going the right way? I don't think so. Is this a dead end? No, here we go. But I would say, I don't know what my favorite port was, man. The biggest, I think, culture shock when it came to ports was Guatemala. Panama was very, the city at least was very metropolitan. Very, it was a city, it was a city. Colombia, we didn't really get to explore a lot of either. We were restricted to a Colombian naval base, which was cool. We actually played basketball with some Colombian sailors. It was kind of a really neat, I don't know what you would call it, like a cultural handshake, between these 2 different navies, and we played basketball with them and against them, and yeah, it was pretty cool, and there was like a little burger shack on the Colombian naval base, and they gave us a tour of I'm moving automatically. Why am I? There we go. They actually gave us so one of the things that we were looking for on this deployment, we were fighting the war on drugs, which is one of the dumbest things that we do. The war on drugs. But and this deployment solidified that to me. But yeah, one of the things that we were doing, what we were looking for on this deployment was semi-submersible submarines. So we and the Colombian military had seized a few of these semi-submersible submarines that would be used for narco trafficking. And it was really interesting. They gave us a little tour of these semi-submersible submarines. And what they are, you can Google it. You can Google it. It's really interesting. It's pretty ingenious. But they would we saw ones that were basically like big tanks, almost like you would see at a gas station, like a big ass tank, like a gas tanker. You know what I mean? On a truck, and the tanker comes to the gas station and fills all the pumps. Basically, one of those, a big tank, modified and cleaned out in the middle, and packed with cocaine. And you would have a rudder on the back, and the person inside would sit inside. Oh, one sec.
In Star Wars, would Vader go back to Clone Wars Anakin and tell him to stay with the Jedi, or would he tell him to join the Sith?
Darth Toucan, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Give me one sec. Telling stories here. Yeah, they gave us a tour of these submarines, and yeah, basically, like, one person would sit in, and they'd be able to steer it left and right with foot pedals. They would be able to adjust speed, but it's basically a big tank with a rudder, and you just kind of point it in the direction of the United States, and yeah, that's how they're getting a lot of stuff across the border. It's kind of interesting. But We never found one. We thought we pinged one on the radar one time, so we launched the helo, and it turned out like we had seen this thing for I think like 4 days on radar, and it turned out it wasn't a submarine. It was actually like a giant fucking log. You talk about a giant waste of time, man. What a waste of time. But yeah, it was. I wouldn't change the experience for the world, man. Is this where I fight Fett? I think so. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, like how that experience completely shaped my view on the war on drugs. Being like out there, I guess you would call it on the front line, literally trying to capture. Literally trying to capture narco subs and boats, fishing vessels, basically. And just seeing how much of a giant waste of time it was. Still fun, but yeah, a giant waste of time. All right, where's Boba? Where's Boba? Where's Boba? Let's get you. Oh, hey, punk. Land right in front of me, big guy. But anyway, so what's your plan? What's your where did it go? 6, I believe. The only 8 is required of service academies, but I could be wrong. Gotcha. Yeah, I know my buddy's or my brother-in-law's was was 8. But he's also a pilot, so I think why can't I hold on here? Why am I not able to? I think the pulse is better for this guy. Come on now, punk. Am I really going to die here? There we go. There we go. I always forget that pulse is better than the seeker for Slave 1. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I you know, obviously better in hindsight when you're out there for 7 months, you're missing everybody, you're missing your family. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a good time. Boot camp was fun. As fun as it could be. I'm going to quit out of the game and just do Lightspeed Lounge for a little bit. Pranks were a thing in boot camp. You might not know that, but pranks were a thing. Tying people's boots to their bunks in the morning. So Chief comes in, throwing chairs around, yelling at us to shit, shower, and shave, and then you got somebody who's fiddling with his boots because an asshole tied him to the bunk the night before. But yeah, it's a good time, man. Keep me updated. I'm curious what you'll be doing and if you like it or not. And again, remember, it's if you don't like it, make the best of it. Time moves fast. Time moves very fast. In fact, if I would have stayed in, I would only have 5 more years until retirement. I recognize you can't really think that way, you know, but it's hard not to think about. But anyway, cheers. I appreciate that, man. And Tuke17, Clark, and Darth, thank you guys for the super chats, channel support. Tuke17 says, what's up, HG? Hey, Flyboy, into the garbage chute. I'm masculine. Hope all is well, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support for 35 months in a row, as it says on screen here. Hope you're doing well. And I appreciate the patience as well. I'm getting to these super chats that are 20 minutes old. That's what happens when you're trying to run around Shadows of the Empire. But cheers, Tuke. Hope you're doing well. Clark Herman, I'm sorry to hear this, man. My condolences. Clark says, hey, HG, my dad passed away a week before Christmas. So 3 months? 2 months? Jeez. Clark says he was a deadbeat drunk. He drove a tractor into a dugout while intoxicated and died of hypothermia. He was 64. That's young, man. That's crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I don't know how your relationship was, but the way you describe him, it doesn't sound like it was too great, which is a shame. But yeah, I don't know that obviously there's nothing that I could say that would bring any comfort. of that. That's such a that's so shitty, and that happened to you, man. My wife's mom passed away 3 years ago, and it actually today would have been her 57th birthday today. So yeah, 64 is young. It's hard, Clark. It's hard for me to figure out, like, my dad's 70, he's gonna be 71, and it's hard for me to, like, 71 seems young to me now, 80 almost seems, it's old, but I know 80-year-olds, my grandma is just turned 92, and she's playing cards and playing bingo, and she beat COVID, and she's more with it than I think I've ever seen her. It's hard. I mean, at 64, it's so goddamn young. It's crazy. It's crazy. But Clark, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's horrible. That's horrible, especially around the holidays as well, that happened to you. But yeah, there's nothing that I can say. My condolences. That's too goddamn young, and maybe, it's not a positive, but you can use that experience, that description that you gave of him, to kind of make sure that you don't go down a road like that. That's you learn from horrible shit. I guess that's the only way we can justify or cope with bad shit. I don't know. Anyway, Clark, I appreciate that, man. All the best to you. And Darth Toucan, thank you so much for the super chat. Final super chat, channel support before I jet. This turned into an hour and 20-minute live stream, man. Darth Toucan says, if time travel was possible in Star Wars, would Vader go back to Clone Wars Anakin and tell him to stay with the Jedi, or would he tell him to join the Sith? I would suspect he would tell him to join the Jedi, stick with the Jedi. I would also suspect that maybe he would come back and tell young Anakin, yeah, things aren't 100%. Things are messed up. They're fucked up, but they're workable, right? They're better. You can help maybe mold this organization into being better rather than completely destroying it, right? Maybe that's the way he would go about it if a time machine was real in Star Wars, and Vader could go back and redeemed Vader could go back and talk to Anakin. I would suspect that he would say, yes, stick with the Jedi instead of abandoning them. Make the organization better. The path that that I went down is not you will lose everything and everyone that you built and know. Do not go down the Sith path, the dark side. That decision will cost the lives of billions. Not join the Sith, but maybe, make the Jedi into something better than it was, But yeah, it's an interesting little thought experiment. For me, let's talk real world here, Darth. If we're talking time machines, and that question comes to me, I would not want to go in the past. I really have zero desire to go into the past. Like, I don't understand people who are like, I wish I was born in the 60s. Why? I wish I grew up in the 60s. Why? Because you like bell bottoms and cool music? You can wear bell bottoms and listen to cool music that came out in the 60s. I don't really get it. Like, I understand maybe visiting short, but I have zero desire to go back in time, to tell you the truth. Like, I understand that our history is flawed and our accounts of history are often gapped and very flawed, but I'm kind of happy with it. you know, I understand that there's going to be failings in the teaching of history and whatnot, but I would much rather go into the future, a couple thousand years even, and see the progress of humanity, see what we're doing, where we're at, you know, what we've become. That interests me way more than going back in time and seeing, like, the pyramids being built. They just had a bunch of people build them. I mean, over a span of a shitload of years. That doesn't interest me. Yeah. Most of the past was death and suffering and starvation. I would much rather go into the future and see what becomes of us, you know. But that's just me. Anyway, I appreciate that, Darth. Cheers, man. Anyway. Dustin, a.k.a. Dustin, good to see you. Dustin says, hey, Greedo, sadly only just got here. Hope you're well. I'm on a big Star Wars game kick and have been playing through Bounty Hunter. It's not bad. Nice. That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. Bounty Hunter is a game that I've never played before. I never owned a GameCube. I never owned a PlayStation. And that game kind of completely passed me by. I never knew anybody that had a GameCube. I knew people that had PlayStations because, like, I would play, Twisted Metal and shit like that on my buddy's PlayStation, but I never owned one, and he never owned Bounty Hunter. So, what is... a game just popped into my head that I have not thought about in decades. Was it Road Rash? What is it? What was it called? Road Rash. Road Rash game. Road Rash. Yeah, no. Latest release Road Rash. Is this it? Road Rash? 91 Road Rash. Okay. 1991 Road Rash 2. Let's look at Road Rash 2. Road Rash is definitely ringing a bell. I definitely played Road Rash. Sega Road Rash. Was there one with bicycles though? Like an ESPN Extreme Games? Let's see. Extreme Games Bike PlayStation. Where you could kick. ESPN Extreme Games. One of the games. I definitely remember playing Road Rash, but there was a game where I think it was on a bicycle, where you were riding on a bicycle and or maybe also skateboards and stuff, and you could kick and punch people next to you. ESPN Extreme Games, maybe? ESPN Extreme Games. Let's see. ESPN Extreme Games PlayStation. Oh my goodness, we're going down a route. I think this was it. 1995. Let's see if this brings back some memories here. Whoa, this is bringing... Whoa, dude. Okay, this will mean nothing to you if you never played this game, but I just pasted a link in the chat. Oh my god. I remember playing this at my I never owned a PlayStation back in the day. I remember playing this game at my buddy's house. ESPN Extreme Games. Oh, the luge too. And yeah, you can kick and punch. Yeah, too extreme. Yeah, too extreme. These games, dude. Oh, there's a bike. Yeah, you kick and punch. Dude! Wow, this is bringing back some crazy memories. I used to go to my buddy's house in Georgia all the time because he had a PlayStation and I had an N64 and a Super Nintendo. I was a Nintendo kid. At a certain point, I had I never owned a Genesis actually, but Golly, this game is bringing back memories. This footage. Wow. Anyway. How did we go? How did we go from Bounty Hunter to ESPN Extreme Games? Oh, that's why these streams are fun. There we go. That's it for me, guys. Dustin, I appreciate that, man. Enjoy the games. We were talking about some games earlier, like Rebel Assault. If you ever played that back in the day, it's harder than I remember, man. But maybe I'll do a Rebel Assault live stream. Anyway, that's it for me this afternoon. I don't know what the plan is for the rest of the week when it comes to the channel. You don't know if you'll see me again, but if you do, yeah, we'll talk random nonsense some more. But all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in for like an hour and a half. That went way longer than I was expecting. But to everybody who supported the channel through Super Chats, I appreciate the hell out of that. To everybody who shot the shit in the chat, thanks, man. All right, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are on planet Earth, and I will catch you all on the flip side. See you guys. Have a good one.